And hello. Good
Hello.
hello, good
Good evening.
evening.
Apa kabar?
Apa
Hello.
kabar? So yeah, we are back on after about a week punya rest. We have another new pack program for you. So for our Muslim friends there, I hope sudah buka puasa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is relaxed right now. We are almost at the tail end of our CMCO and Musim Raya Syawal pun dah menjelang. So just want to say hello to all the Muslim viewers there. Any Muslim viewers? All right. So salam Ramadan. Few more days before Syawal. Dah nak menjelang dah. Right. So excellent. Today we have got. I'm in a Zoom with some of the smartest people
Ooh.
in
Really ka?
in this region. These are the guys involved in books. Books, the tome of knowledge, all the content, all the the science, the arts, the advancement, the whole body of brains lah, that you can fit in. So
Wow, very
interesting.
pressure ni.
Huh?
Very pressure ni.
Right. So yeah, Michelle Thong from Masa University. Hello to you. And we have got Mr. Chua Tekbun. Yeah, warming up, guys. Michael Lu, Stephen Howe, sudah start. Remember Stephen Howe from our Beijing group. So how is everyone
Yeah.
over here? I hope you are great. If you are looking forward, can you please give our two gentlemen that I'm going to introduce a like, or please share this particular program? Yeah. All right. Let this grow. It's so interesting because let me just introduce our special guests. Two presidents tonight. Two presidents involved in books. And I want to know what's the difference between these two presidents and the association they represent. First person, my guest, the gentleman at the bottom, right? We have Inche Arief Hakim Sani bin Rahmat. He is the managing director of PTS Media Group Sendirian Berhad, and he is also the current president of Malaysia Book Publishers Association. Malaysia Book Publishers Association. Uh, Arief, if I may call you Arief, yeah?
Yes,
Comes
please.
from a very illustrious family, son of a professor, Professor Abdullah Hassan, and a publisher and writer, that family, and they have written more than 30 titles in the areas of linguistic, lateral thinking, skill, leadership, communication. So you can imagine, you grew up with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of education. So Encik Arif, being the eldest son, has taken over the helm. And not only is he right now taking PDS publications to greater heights, he has now published more than 200 titles in all kinds of genre: Islamic, children, teen, cookbooks, fiction, business, management, self-help, computer, IT, you name it, it is published by PDS. Now they have also translated foreign titles into Malay language. They publish e-books right now in following with the times, with digitalization. And as president, they have organized many book fairs, exhibitions, book trucks, and even gone into e-commerce as well. They have managed to bring publication to the masses. And Arif, you are doing an amazing job as the president since last year. Okay, he's also very
Thank you.
active in the areas of ASEAN as well. All right, uh, with the various association in that region. Right. So welcome to the program, Arif.
Right. Terima kasih for inviting me to the program.
Oh, the honor is ours. The honor is ours. So tonight's viewers, we have got smart people involved in book publication, right? Very, very interesting. What's the future of books? Those days, you go to university, you hold tons of books. Now you just need to hold one or two devices, and everything is in there. So we want to know how, what's the future of books? But before we start, we have got another personality who is my longtime friend, Mr. Keith Thong. I think I know Keith when I was 23 years old. That was like
Yeah,
almost
that's long.
25 years ago. All right. So
True, true.
yeah, he was actually with and still is University Bookstore Malaysia. He's currently their managing director. So I remember those days I started the MBA program with University of Western Sydney. That was like sometime in 2000, no, 1997 or
Yeah,
1998.
90 plus.
97 or 98. I didn't know where to look for textbooks. I just looked at Yellow Pages, University Bookstore, and the next thing I met this gentleman here. And now,
Thank
20
you,
over
thank you.
years later, we are still friends and collaborators. So Keith is, aside from being the MD of University Bookstore is one of Malaysia's pioneer bookstore that serves the universities. So if you go to University Malaya, UKM, the private universities, most of the textbooks and the titles there are from UBSM. Okay, it is also the market leader, not only in universities, K-12 segment, print, digital products, even my daughter's school, also gets the books from University Bookstore. His son is one of the top students there, in my daughter's school. So
Ooh.
that's where, yeah, everyone looks up to Keegan. So Keith, longtime friend, welcome to the program. Aside from being with UBSM, Keith is also very, very active in the NGO side. So tonight he is here because he is representing as president of Malaysia Booksellers Association. Booksellers. So you
Thank you,
see,
thank you.
Arief, book publication. Once you publish,
Yes.
pass it over to Keith, I assume, right?
Yes.
And then the booksellers would start selling it in
Selling.
whatever channels.
Correct.
So it's not just involved
Absolutely.
in
In
books.
essence, that is the difference.
That is the difference.
He
Put it
That
down
is the
nicely.
difference.
He
Okay.
passed me the baton. Make sure I don't drop it. I win the race with the baton.
Right. So you got to carry that torch, right? Or that baton.
Yep.
It's not only just books, yeah. Mr. Keith Thong is also a board trustee in his alumni, Methodist Boys School alumni. All right, you are with MBS.
Yes.
I'm with
Yep.
Maxwell, so we have got some healthy rivalry over there.
And Bukit Bintang.
He's Bukit Bintang.
DDBS.
All right.
Yeah.
All
And
missionary
then you're
school.
board member of Malaysia National Book Council, deputy chairman of Malaysia Book Industry Chamber. Wow, I didn't know there are so many book NGOs around until
Yeah.
today. And you're a member of the Internet Alliance Network. Probably that reflects, your direction towards from print to embrace some form of digitalization as well. And Keith is multi-talented. He's a trainer, speaker. He publishes. He is an agent distributor for content, not only in Malaysia, the entire Southeast Asia. And I have the privilege of being introduced by Keith to many of his collaborators and his affiliates. And it's been an honor knowing all of you. So
Thank you, thank you.
as with books, many pages, so their introduction is usually very, 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 very long. Okay, for a long and illustrious career for very young people. Okay, are you guys still there or not? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a
Mr.
long interview.
Kenko, right? How are you? Continental Aces Ken, hello. I met you since 6:30 a.m. this morning, and you are still around. Congratulations, Ken, and welcome to that program. Okay, let's get started. Again, Malaysia Book Publications, Malaysia Booksellers. Can you explain to us a little bit more? What do Malaysian book publishers do? What is the ecosystem or the world of book publication? Over to you, Arief.
I represent the book publishers, the Malaysian Book Publishers Association. So our members are constitute of some of the education publishers, the big illustrious name public listed like Sasbadi and Pelangi, the big general book publisher. That general book are what we term books that you can find in your bookshops for the non-education type. You know, the cookbook, the comics, the children books, the business book, the self-help. These are all the whole range we call as a general book.
Right.
Our members also constitute of the higher education, the university press that publish book for the higher ed. The whole spectrum of local publisher, they are members of the Malaysian Book Publishers Association.
I see. When you talk about publication, how much of it is digital? How much of it is print currently? And can you give us a sense of the trend?
Statistics. Okay.
Because those days when we say publish, we imagine print, but right now you have got digital publication. So can you give us an idea about the trends there?
How do I put it down? Okay. We don't have exact numbers, but there are some which we can use as a guidance. For example, historically in Malaysia, number of books published locally up to today is about 500,000 titles. This is since we started with the registration system with the National Library, the ISBN system. Up to today, we have 500,000 titles in print.
Wow.
Latest, we have about 20,000 titles in ebook. So that gives a sense of how many books are being digitalized versus the print. On the other hand, in terms of sales, I best guess probably locally about 1% is in ebook sales. 99% is still in print.
Okay.
But certain categories is slightly higher. For example, romance novel in Malay, I believe the figure is closer to 25 to 30% now in ebook format versus in print. But overall, is still about 1%-ish.
Okay, so it's much smaller
but
than
pirate is high. do bear in mind that pirate is high.
Still very small.
Yeah.
Right. So it's still relatively small. So
yes.
So just to give us a sense, okay.
Yeah.
So probably we are living outside the world of books, lah. You know, now I realize. Okay, because for me, my daily consumption of digital is much higher than on print, and I suppose print includes newspapers as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, how much of, can you give us a breakdown of your consumer market, of your readership market? So how many of it is in the universities, and how many of it are outside the universities, outside academia?
I don't have an association. We don't break down our survey quite like that. Book is an old industry. People are quite reluctant to share data. That's our problem. So old industry, a lot of old people, but at least we know total output of Malaysian publishers. For example, in the high year of 2014, it was about 1.2 billion locally. But today, the latest survey we did, it has dropped down to about 800 million-ish. That's a total output of Malaysian publisher.
Right. So we see a downtrend in terms of publication. Do you see an uptrend in terms of digitalization?
Digitalization, yes, but monetization is still a problem for us.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Hold on to that thought, because I like the point about monetization versus digitalization, because I want to I can see two prongs of attack against this industry. We'll get back to that in a while. But right now, Keith, so in book publication, they are very conservative, right? Because they don't want to reveal so much about their facts and figures. But you can't lie when it comes to sales. So being part of booksellers, tell us, how are you different, okay? And how do you define yourself as booksellers, and probably give us an idea about how much sales is happening right there, what are the trends and figures?
Okay, the Bookseller Association actually comprises about 100 group of companies. We represent various segments, all right? Say, for example, we normally classify the academic segment as the university as well as the college market. We call it academic. The education segment normally would be schools, pre-K to 12. That is what we call education segment.
Right.
Then you have other segment like ELT. The largest segment is actually trade. Trade means general books, coffee table books, reference, self-improvement, and stuff like that. So those are this segment.
I see.
And the thing is that...
Keith, sorry, you mentioned ELT. What is that? That sounds technical.
So English language teaching. So the
okay.
thing is that teaching and learning. So learning English is a very big segment in the book industry, actually. And then the especially general, which classifies as trade, as well as the academic, these are pretty big segments, actually. So the other thing is that as far as members are concerned, like say we could have like one member may own a lot of branches, like say MPH, Popular, or Times or Kinokuniya could be just one of the members, but they may have multiple chain store, like 30-hour chain store, 80-hour chain store. And sometimes you didn't know that some mama papa shop, you should think they're very small, you never heard of them before, but they own 300 bookshops in the schools. All right. So it's like, it could be one Achong bookstore, or one Sumatra bookstore, one Pyramid bookstore. They may own a lot of shops in the schools, in the Kebangsaan school or SJKC actually. So it comprises all the booksellers from all walks of life. And then the things that it covers the entire industry in totality. Now, just now you were mentioning about digital and such. Okay, specifically from the school side, the transformation is not so great yet in digital. But for the tertiary or university side, it's actually gone crazy already. Because last time used to be 70% budget is allocated to print and 30% for digital. Then now it's moving where the whole nation, every university and every college is 50-50. In fact, they're moving to 70% print and 30% digital.
When you say last time, happened. How long is that ago?
Over this last 3 years, it's almost flipped from 70 to 30 to 30 to 70.
To 30, just flipped. Okay.
Over the last 3-4 years.
And how
I think market like general, market like general almost 100% digital, right, Keith?
Yeah. We used to be the largest journal distributor in Malaysia, where we supply to every university journals, R&D journals. But then the thing is that sometimes, because journals, you need to be really, really fast. Within 1 week, it's published, you got to be delivered and stuff like that. But postal service, courier, and logistics and so on, it takes too long. So when you do research, it's on demand. When I want it now, it's now. I cannot wait tomorrow. Just like newspapers. I want it now. I want to read last week's news. It's like eating an old mee goreng 1 month ago. How can? I want it fresh now. So in the university segment, no choice. Research, everything live, everything instant. In fact, we have one product called Press Reader. Press Reader, we have like 7,000 newspaper and magazine live at one go. And you search any data, it's like 7,000 newspaper magazines search instantly.
And this dates back to
big data is crazy.
When?
It could date back to a few years, but normally the way we do searches now, we don't even date back to 1 month. We date back to 3 days. Like say, if I'm in the oncology department, I want to know something about breast cancer. I just key in breast cancer the last 3 days, whatever that made news, all right? I will probably have 600 articles ready.
Wow.
Just on 3 days alone, searching from 7,000 newspaper magazine. It's crazy. Okay. The National Library has this feature. The Sarawak Libraries has this feature. It's really amazing.
Okay.
Big data. This is big data.
It is. I mean, I still remember those days when I was working in advertisement or whatever research we want to do. We actually had to employ people to cut articles and
exactly.
them,
Exactly.
Yeah, and that wasn't that long ago,
Yeah. You see, one very crazy example is that few years back, the government asked maybe 30, 40 staff to search, okay, what are the foreigners talking about us about 1MDB or something like that, right? So when they search Press Reader alone, anything that appear in every other newspaper in the world about 1MDB, it comes out. But then it's positive. You know why? because Bernama is the national news agency. Whatever Bernama give to the rest of the world, they will only publish from official sources. So what is the whole world talking about? It comes from the official news portal of Malaysia, and the rest of the few hundred countries will get the news from Bernama actually. So you tune into thousands of channels at one go.
Okay. Help me put things in perspective before we head back to Arief. You have all these, what do you call it? Press reader, right?
Press reader is just one of the many databases.
One of those things. How is it different from us just Googling for information?
Okay, frankly, there's always a very big debate. Should we pay for
university
content?
Students, they don't just go to that. They just go to Mr. Google and they just key in those keywords and you get tons of those published materials online as well. I mean, from a layman's perspective, I'm not a researcher.
That's the main question that everybody asks. Every university, every librarian asks, why should I pay for content when it's free outside, a lot of content? But let's make it very clear. Frankly, there's no free lunch, basically. If all of you are expert in SEO, in social media marketing and stuff like that, you go Google, you search anything, the first 20 pages are all paid advertisements. So by the time you read something short, when you really need to go further in, bayar. You know, that kind of thing. Like, I give you a very good example. Like, I represent Britannica online, right? Every school asks me, Wikipedia free ma? Why pay money for Britannica? Even though you help developing countries by giving 9% discount for developing countries to help us catch up with the first world. So, but Wikipedia is our number one agent. They sell the most subscription to us, for us actually. Because anybody who search Wikipedia, anything wrong, they curse and swear and stuff. In fact, international school doesn't allow anybody to quote from Wikipedia. When they go to Wikipedia, they say, what do they expect? Free ma. We only have 30 staff managing the whole management of the company. Whoever come and put anything, sometimes your friend not very smart, also they think they're very smart, but they could have put all the wrong information. Sometimes because of malice, you look at all the politician pages, everything wrong because both sides will putting bad things about each other and stuff like that. So anybody can put. But Britannica, they have 4,000 editors updating it every day. They're paying 4,000 editors and more than 100 million subscribers that is paying money to them. So they don't need advertisement. And these 4,000 editors segregated to 300 subject matter expert. And under one subject matter expert, they have about another 15 to 20 editors. And sometimes, right, one article, right, they take, like say you have 4,000 editors, probably about 3,000 new articles per month. Why it takes so long? 1 hour, 1 month plus? Because every line must be accurate. It's not the grammar or spelling, it's every fact must be accurate. You learn it right the first time. So that is the challenge between paid and free content. And frankly, our kids, right, if you can catch them learning, you better give them the right the first time, or else you cannot catch them learning. They're playing all the time and enjoying all the time on social media. So if you want them to learn something, you learn right at the first time, you give them on demand, or else they lose interest.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
That's great. You sound like 4,000 people, all right, on Wikipedia,
researching for you.
Britannica. Researching, make sure everything is correct. But do we, in our lives today, I mean, we are leading fast-paced lives, we need answers, but we do not need probably accurate answers. So that's where online free resources still hold their value. They are able to give you some approximates, if you will. And sometimes we live by approximates. Not many of us are researchers. So, when we live in this world, we are still looking at the majority of people. They dictate what the norms are, what the trends are, and not the researchers in the universities. I mean, I respect the academic integrity and the quality that you're looking at, but let's face facts. Let's face facts. You have seen it in universities, 70-30 flip. Arief has already mentioned that the number for digital content and publication has gone up. like it or not, there is some form of disruption in two ways. Number one,
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
brought
there are
about by
disruptions.
digitalization. Number one,
Yeah.
the media itself being used is digital. The media.
Exactly.
Second, the content itself. It's available. The way it's written, you do not have that rigor of your Britannica, right? But the content is readily available. Everyone is an author. Yeah, everyone can actually share a lot of content online, and those content are readily available free. So you are faced
And
with
good
two
enough.
onslaughts. Number one,
Yeah.
publication, it's readily available. You can publish on the spot. And the other hand is content. It's readily available on the spot. Can you give us an idea of, how long has your industry been battling this so-called disruption before we move on to the topic today on COVID-19? Arief.
I think
Okay.
I think we'll draw back to the cases in the western side. The book industry, the global book industry, has been under challenge from, well, let's say, from the Amazons, from the Kindles, right, in the United States. Yes, it went through. There's a cycle up and down, change in sales channel when Amazon come to the market. The sales channel change from physical into e-commerce, and then when Kindle comes, and the sales channels change again into digital reading. But surprisingly, for the past few years, the old book are coming back. The good old book are coming back. For example, we realize we see the trend in 2016 and 17 when adult drawing book, if you remember, Secret Garden suddenly boom into the market, right? And somehow adult drawing book increased the print sales in 2016 and 2017. And then towards 2018, it's the children activity books and the children picture book coming back very strongly.
Right.
Partly, I believe, is realizations on the parent side that too much screen time is not good for the children. So there's a pushback, and parents, especially the more educated parents, they're pushing back to non-screen for their kids. And 2019 was declared as the best year in publishing in over a decade.
Yeah, for print.
Right.
So yeah, on the Western Hemisphere. Of course, locally in Malaysia, I believe we only get this Amazon effect this year because of COVID-19.
Right.
E-commerce was here years, but for book sales is still quite small. However, because of the CMO, surprisingly, book sale through e-commerce went through 3, 4, 5 times the usual amount. So in a way, we are experiencing the Amazon effect now. This March, April, May.
And
It's
probably
really,
is
really
accelerated as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have brought up COVID-19 already,
Yeah.
which is excellent because they say this virus is an accelerator. Whatever that will happen in 5 years, 10 years, they just sort of accelerate it,
3 months.
into months.
In the last 2 months, 3 months.
Whatever you think is going to
Yeah,
happen
it's
in
crazy.
10 years, it just boom, you're thrown into the deep end.
Exactly.
Are we
Exactly.
seeing,
So
but I see that from what you say, books are actually quite different from other content. If you're looking at movies, nobody is going to the movies, right? Nobody's going to the movies. And everything jumps into the smaller screen in terms of content. Movies, they were talking about certain summer movies, big hits. They are no longer going to be available on the big screen, on the silver screen, but they're coming into Netflix. They're coming into the small screens on our televisions, and and things like that. So you see, they are moving away from the analog way of doing things into more digital. But on the other hand, you are saying that it is the other way around. Can you explain this paradox? Arief first.
I think okay, Dato. Take a look at ourselves as our own consumption pattern, right? Maybe not the younger chap lah. They are more really into their phones, right? I mean, I'm in my 40s lah. Sometimes I get tired with my phone. I just put it down and leave it there and
But
do
you're the
something
son
else.
of a professor.
I go gardening,
You know,
or I
and
go
you grew up with
jogging.
books.
I just leave the phone for a few hours.
You grew up with books.
Sometimes I get tired of my phone. Okay, so
but
so
is
book
this a Malaysian phenomenon or not? Yeah, right. I
now,
love books,
what I
but,
think is
are we the
happening
odd
is,
people out, you know, or are we part of the the majority?
These are trends lah. At one time, everybody go crazy, on their phone 24/7. I think now there's a pushback.
Yeah.
People say, "Hey, my life cannot be on the phone all the time lah.
Correct.
I need to take a look at my kids, my wife, my family, my community, talk to the people." So it's part of as part of a pushback that sometimes people, I need to tune off a little bit on my digital life. So people go back into reading book. Book is a long type of reading.
Yeah.
It's a in depth. You deep dive into a content of a book. Sometimes you just need to take a break and go back into solitary, looking deep diving into a good book. So
yeah, let your imagination run.
Semua benda ni sometimes you get tired lah of this.
Yeah, rather than I agree with you. I mean, my phone always sends me report. This week your phone usage time and it's been dropping in the past couple of weeks. But I just do wonder, is this just a passing fad? It's like I'm just tired of the phone during the MCO, and after a while I just abandon the books when we manage to go out again. Or do you see this as not just a fad, but it's actually a serious trend that is taking place? Keith, what is your point of view from the sales perspective? Right?
Yeah.
Universities are closed in the MCO.
My take, yes, but lessons are still going on. Classes is still being done online. In fact, a lot of resources are online, which is a good thing because it saves the day. Now, when we talk about technology or online or digital and such like that, we have to look at two main segments. One segment is e-commerce. That means you're still selling your physical books online, and that one have triple or maybe 5 times during these 2 months is really fantastic. The other thing is digital content. So content, it could be ebooks, it could be online databases, it could be online assessment, all right, all kinds of digital content and stuff like that. That also is going tremendously, is doing tremendously well. But if you notice, right, after 2 months, right, most of the parents surrender, say, "Ayo, no more webinar. The kids sit there for 8 hours. I want them to read a book." Actually, everybody waiting for the bookstore to open. No, I was watching the Kinokuniya open. Don't know whether it's Thailand or Singapore. Wow, people queue up crazy. I need my bookstore and books actually. But especially these 2 years, even though I have championed digital for the last 10 years, right? My growth is all print actually. But the twist is you have to be bespoke. You have to tailor it. Like say, for example, I'm dealing with like international school for the matter. So when I come out with a reading magazine, all right, we use big data. Say you're 5-year-old or you're in standard 5. From the big data, what are you searching on the internet? We know. So what you're searching, I will publish the things that you're looking for. So I don't need to force you to read. You will, wow, look at the magazine, you read. Then secondly, I map that magazine to the exams you're taking. Say you're taking the Cambridge exams or the IGC exams. Whatever you're reading for fun that you like is mapped to your exams. So when we tell the school, it's a no-brainer because it mapped to the curriculum and the kids love the topic and they want it, it's a perfect match. So they said, and I really, really want them to read it on print because digital we can't control, but at least we can get them to sit down, be decent to read something on print. But the important thing is that it has to be bespoke or tailored to the need or mapped to the curriculum that they're studying in.
Right. So again,
That changes everything.
Right. You have touched on curriculum, integrity, and again, the conversation is still very much school, university. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and one thing we can't deny, one thing you can't deny, this MCO, COVID, has sprung up tons of Zoom sessions, Hangouts, Microsoft Team, you name it, StreamYards. Everyone is communicating via platforms such as this. Even schools, right? We meet up like that. So there's a lot of digital consumption. And again, back to your point earlier about why go to Britannica? Why not just get stuff off Google? Maybe there's a little bit of a trend towards quality content,
Exactly.
content with integrity. You just can't simply quote off Wikipedia or, we even had politicians quoting off, fake news. And so we want to avoid that. So right now we are a little bit more discerning. Those days, the internet was something you discover and say, well, you take it for granted and it's so true. But right now we're becoming more discerning. Do you think that is the case right now?
I think, generally speaking, as Malaysian matured, we understand there are free content, then there are free content. And people want the free but high quality content, but they don't want to pay. Slowly, I think people are learning that, hey, you have to pay. Started with Spotify, with Netflix, and then Netflix, we also share account. But eventually people learn that you need to pay for the quality content. And now you can see even our local newspaper are putting up paywall, right? Macam The Star is putting up some.
Corinne, we see you. We've got Corinne from The Star. Yes, so she says hello to you as well. And we also have
Malaysia
someone by the name of
started
Norehan Dayat. He says, finally, great to see you talking about your world of books. Proud of you, Arief. So thank you for that message.
So people realize that if you want the high quality journalism, high quality content, you have to pay a little bit, but you must pay. You cannot just keep reading free fluffy stuff. There will be a segment, that big segment, that the mass market segment, that will continue consuming free content, but there will be a good segment. People who are willing to pay a little bit of money to get high quality content. So eventually we will get there.
Okay.
But when, how much? I read.
Okay, we seem to be seeing
monetization
a
is the biggest problem.
Ada hope. COVID, instead of accelerating the demise of publication and books, actually has shown a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Dato, can I add?
Boleh,
you see, you still see book as book, you see. For example, the book you've seen 30 years ago and the book you've seen today, it still looks about the same. Paper, ada cover, black and white color, etc. But behind the scene, the production of the book, the selling of the book, the business model behind the book all change. Past tense, semua sudah tukar. It's unlike what you've seen. The industry is unlike what you've seen 30 years ago.
Right.
So, for example,
how has it changed? Give us an idea, because I'm ignorant. For me, the book 30 years ago and the book today is still a physical book. Give us an insight.
It looks the same, comfortably the same. Tapi sebenarnya inside, behind the scene, change a lot. Where you buy your book, banyak tukar. Today, people buy their book from corporate bookshops in the mall. 30 years ago, it's always mom and pop shop, right?
Yeah, betul.
Newsstand.
Their book in MPH online or Shopee, they buy it online. 30 years ago, mana ada online. In terms of manuscript acquisition, for example, 30 years ago, publisher, we local author submit to publisher decide. I think today is 180 degrees. Publisher decide who they want to publish, and publisher go hunt for the appropriate author or the content. Dia dah terbalik dah. Submission versus now we hunt for content that we think can do well in our own market. Behind the scene, don't talk about ni lah, don't talk about computers, no computers lah. Zaman dulu layout, my mother time, she said, layout guna whatever lah.
Exactly.
That's the good part of technology, right? But again, I'm still very troubled because last week or very recently I read, but you guys are saying books are making a turnaround. People are returning to the good old books, tired of our screens, tired of devices, make our eyes, red and so on. Let's have good old book. Enjoy it during the MCO period. But why do we still read of popular bookshop shutting down?
Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, not in Malaysia.
They should be, right? People should be saying, okay, CMCO, they should be making a queue, a beeline towards bookstores, but we haven't seen that happening. How do you reconcile that with what you have said earlier? Keith?
Actually, I have to answer.
China market is going e-commerce. I think that's the real reason behind it.
Yeah.
I think,
and of course, political problem.
Correct. So
we
the
do have
publication
the
side is still
answer to this.
Tapi on the sales side, it's the sales channel, probably.
Channel is changing.
Please.
It's actually there are a few things to look at. Actually, for me, you see, we've been going door to door, school to school to try to get them to try out digital stuff, use digital stuff, and so on and so forth. Actually, very tough. The last 10 years, we've been doing that. Very tough. Because sometimes, firstly, broadband is shit slow. Sometimes just to load the school logo alone, a few seconds already. And the attention span online, if I need to wait more than 2 seconds, I will jump already. I don't stay anymore. All right. So that's the thing. But now over the last few years, the broadband speed has increased tremendously.
Yep.
Now, I probably take about 2 months to get one appointment with the school to tell them about digital. But this COVID thing happened, right? Almost 66 schools call me and say, hey, I need to survive because parents say nothing to learn. I don't pay you school fees. I need this. So everything you want for digital, I give you everything free for the COVID thing. Until you're very happy, you're very satisfied, only you let me know as such. And the good part about being a developing countries, right? We get huge discount from these international publishers to help bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Because sometimes the chairman will talk a lot and say, well, we help the rich should help the poor. So I say, yeah, if you want me to pay first world price, I'm making you richer and I'm getting poorer. So when they are shocked by that, they never thought that their cost of living is like 5 times, 10 times our cost of living. They say, what do you want? Maybe 80% off, 90% off. Okay. And sometimes they say, okay, sure, we support you. So this time, right, so many schools actually gone crazy to embark on the bandwagon of online learning, mainly for survival. When it comes to survival, you don't need to teach people. They will look for you. You don't need to look for them anymore already. That is the good part about it. But what is the conversion after we are released from MCO? Yet to be seen, We don't really know what's the take up. Or they may use your product for 2-3 months free and say, never mind, my teacher also don't want to learn digital. What can we do, right?
Okay. On that, but before that, we just want to say hello to Ivy Hugh. You remember Ivy Hugh, DTR?
Yo, the hero.
Just say hello. And we have got Tracy Link as well. Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Good of you to drop in. Appreciate you coming in. And let's continue. You talked about, MCO, there's ray of hope, right? People are tired of the screens. They want to hold a book. People are no longer that trusting of easily available content. They want something that is accurate, that is accredited, that is that is verifiable. So, and there is also, if I may summarize, the willingness of people to pay for content. Okay. Simply because it's actually pretty affordable. You just pay a few more ringgit. Those days, people say, I don't want to swipe my credit card. I don't want to share. But I think those days are over. They are ready to pay for Grab food. They are willing to buy food, e-commerce.
Exactly.
They are willing to pay for Netflix and so on. Of course, they can pay for book content. But now the question is post MCO, right? Keith, your favorite word, VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain,
Certain,
changing,
complex,
yeah,
ambiguous.
complex and ambiguous, correct, world. So we are actually stepping into a VUCA world. And I'm also reminded of HRDS new chairman, Dato Nelson.
Yeah, Dato
He also
Nelson.
mentioned VUCA in his statement recently. This is MCO VUCA accelerated. So what do we expect right now as we move out of CMCO and try to get back as much as possible, yeah, into business as usual, but we know it's going to be business unusual. So as a book publisher, as a book seller, what are your expectations moving forward in the new normal? Arief,
Ah,
I can see
wow.
you.
I was talking to Kid about this just now. How do we reboot the retail, the book retail? Well, yes, of course, e-commerce is going completely berserk, 5x. But 80% of our turnover still come from physical retail, from the bookshops, from the book fair, and post CMO. How do we reboot the retail industry? I think that's the biggest challenge for us right now.
Correct. I mean, you can't have book fairs.
We
Your book fair, Big Bad Wolf, you have to observe social distancing
yeah
measures. So you really can't have your book fairs, your book bazaars, and so on.
yes.
And
For the next 3 months, I think we cannot do any kind of book fair yet. So
right.
book fair are going online. So we know we are going online. For example,
Okay.
next month we going to do a book fair with one of the e-commerce platform. Hopefully, in July another book fair. I think Big Bad Wolf also going online to do their book fair,
How do
advertising
we do
heavily.
book fairs online?
Oh, Dato,
Because I can imagine going into a large hall, flipping books, touching, and looking at pictures. But how do you book fair online?
We
give us an idea.
also do e-book fair online.
Yeah.
I think
You
that's
shop from your tablet. The whole mall
Alright.
is in your tablet or your phone, actually.
Yeah. Last month, the local e-book seller, e-central, are doing e-book fair.
Okay,
I
sounds
think that
interesting.
one received quite a newspaper coverage lah.
Tapi awal-awal tadi you mentioned it's only 1% of publication
E-book.
that's available digitally.
Yeah,
So
very
the new
small.
book fair, that means we will only have access to that 1% of that 500,000 titles. That may be
Well,
available.
the ebook fair is relatively to the size is still small, but it's growing. It's growing nicely. But more important is the e-commerce lah. That's the book fair, online book fair, or the e-commerce part. I'm very very excited looking at that one.
Okay. Other than fairs, what else do you see being hit? E-book fairs. What else can we do? Under the new normal in terms of sales, because schools will never be the same again, right?
That is one big market.
Libraries are fitted, the layout of libraries. You no longer sit next to each other and read books together. How do you see? How do you envisage this new normal, Keith, in terms of selling? Because e-commerce is there.
Library is turning digital. National Library is telling us that their digital lending is now much higher than their print lending. So we know library are turning digital. So I don't see so much problem with libraries, especially if we think library, the conventional library. I'm more excited about the digital library part. Keith can tell you that the kind of content that we supply digitally to library now is also wide and rich, and we've been asking the library to buy more digital content, local digital content, not the imported digital content. So library is changing definitely. Our challenge is how to reboot our conventional retail, the bookshops. Retail will not go away, but of course e-commerce going up, but retail will not go away, and we want to reboot the retail. And I think that one I pass over to Keith.
Probably
I think
traditional retail might be affected, but we are looking at a hybrid kind of retail. So tell me, how does this
exactly.
hybrid retail, offline,
New
online,
retail.
O2O, is going to be
Mm.
for books, and book selling?
Yes. Actually, we've been traveling. I've been traveling around Southeast Asia, especially, and sometimes North Asia as well. We spoke to government leaders. We speak to booksellers. We speak to economists and stuff like that. But the thing is that if you really notice, right, the consumer behavior for North Asia and Southeast Asia is very, very different. Now, you look at those so-called more advanced Asian countries like Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, right? You don't need to force them to read. The books are doing tremendously well, even though their prices is double the price or triple the price of Malaysia. Why? Because they are in a hot zone. The competition is crazy. You are not smart. You don't work hard. You don't survive. You are dead as such. Now, coming back to Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and so on and so forth, relatively, we are quite laid back, You speak to leaders, all right? I spoke to mayors, to leaders, and so on. They said, our people, you want them to read, you give them money also, they also think about whether they want to read or not. So what I think is a big thing that we really need is that it's time that the government look at human capital, building human capital from a young age. They need to pump some serious money into an accelerator program, The things that you make the things available to people, you get the right thing available to people will come and read and use as such. Because if the leaders don't play the role, just like you have a child, you are the father, all right? Your child don't read, never mind, play, no need. But in the end, you will worry for him your whole life long, whether the fellow will earn a living or not. So you make books available, you make content available, you get the right stuff available for him. I mean, in the internet, information overload. But the time when I'm serious, I want to read something serious or something enjoyable, something that is edited, all right, with all the correct stuff. So if government were to pump money into this segment, right, it will bless many. This is what the whole industry are waiting for a long, long time, because they spend a lot of infrastructure. People say go digital. You spend 9 billion on computers and interactive whiteboard. For what? Within half a year or 1 year, obsolete already.
Right.
But if you buy content, it will last you forever. It's always there, you see.
And we can read
So
it
that is
because
the
that's in
absolute,
in that article right behind you. Persatuan Penjual Harap
you see,
Budget Pulihkan Industri Buku. So that put things in perspective.
I want
that was
to
That's his
last year,
content, yeah?
I
Yeah.
want to echo what Kid said. We cannot build this country on top of TikTok, for example. We cannot we cannot produce PhDs and masters on top of TikTok.
Yeah.
Watching YouTube.
Absolutely
Cannot
right.
be like that.
Before we continue, just want to say hello to our fellow classmate from CKGSB, Stephen Howe. He says hello to
Hi,
you
Steven.
as well. All right. And of course, my friend Margaret Thum. Good to see you. Have a good evening. Let's continue. I think we have time for just another 1-2 topics before we close. Time passes when you're having fun, even with
Exactly.
book publishers. I didn't know this conversation can be so engaging.
Interesting, yeah.
All right. So we see a couple of trends now. All right. We see a couple of trends. Digitalization is in. We see e-commerce and probably hybrid O2O kind of commerce, because people don't want to just buy online. Neither do they want to go to the bookshop. Probably they will buy online and then they refer to the bookshop and buy it on the bookshop, research online, buy it on the books, or buy see it in the bookshop, read it, and probably buy it online if it's cheaper once you have sort of democratized this thing. Well, people have this kind of weird behaviors. We also see consumption getting a little bit more discerning. You want to check facts, and people are willing
Exactly.
to pay more. So these are all good news for Malaysians. Okay, generally from our experience. But Cik Arief, you are council and you were once the president of the ASEAN Book Association, and Keith, you are also active in that ASEAN region as
Mm,
well.
mm,
You just mentioned there's a dichotomy. Certain parts of Asia, they are really pushing book smarts, all right? And whereas we are here, sometimes we still go for, as Jari said, entertainment more than real serious stuff. We go on TikTok and get ourselves entertained by short videos. So, and Keith, you said, okay, we need more budget for content. What
yes.
should the trajectory be? You know, are people's attention spans getting shorter? Should book publication cater to shorter attention span? Should we have more shorter books with bigger fonts and probably interaction with videos as a way of accepting? Because I can see attention. On one hand, you follow the
Mm,
flow. The attention span is shorter. They like entertainment. They are exposed to so many forms of media today, right? Video, audio, aside from text. Should we embrace that hybrid multimedia content, right, as a way of realizing reality? Or should we, like what Keith say, rubbish those new content uh, and still stick to the traditional words, written word as being solid and becoming book
mm.
smart and say, we should emulate what's happening in North Asia. Where is the trajectory supposed to be? Cik Arief, dulu.
That is a religious war between this extreme to that extreme. I'm a little bit on the conservative side lah. I don't think book should be game because book cannot compete with game. Game is game, book is book.
Right.
But on the other hand, book also must also pick up a few lessons from our younger children, our current need, the what we are addressing now. Book must be more color. More books must go color because our kids nowadays they are color. Their eyes are trained on colors. Books must be more visual. Kids nowadays are very visual. Uh, that kind of trend kita tahu. We have to do that, and as a result, you can see that, for example, comics are growing. As a category, comics are growing very very fast, especially on the younger readers. And we
Yeah.
have to do more comics, and the content that goes inside comic must go up.
Sure.
30 years ago, our comic is really lawak-lawak je. But today, comics are very educational. Comic,
Educational. Eh?
semi-academic.
Right.
So we have to take stock of this reading trend among the younger generation. But I don't agree compete directly with games, for example.
Yeah.
We
That's
cannot
good.
be as good as
Very
games.
clear.
Games are games.
I
Religious
mean,
war lah kalau you cakap benda ni. You talk to other people, they will say book must go, put everything inside there, AR, VR, everything throw inside. So
Okay.
that kind of,
We
I
got
just don't
that
share
very
that.
clear. Games, books. Keith, before that, Garrett, hello from Kuching. Garrett Sim. Hi. We went to Berlin last year with Garrett. Eco
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
Okay.
Keith. Yeah.
Okay. Consumer behavior have definitely changed over the years. Our father is different from us. Our mother is different from us. Even our older brother is very different from us. Now we deal with international schools. International schools basically they don't wait for the world. They do what is now, what is the most current, what's the best. You don't need a crystal ball to see the future. They are already in the future. Whatever happened in America or UK, they have it now. Now, through our studies, can you guess what's the attention span of the kids that go to schools this day? Attention span? Guess?
20 minutes.
How long is the attention?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Riff, what do you think?
About that lah.
Okay, the thing is, whatever age they are, you add 2 minutes. If you talk to an 8-year-old, you talk more than 10 minutes, gone. You lose them. All right. you talk to a 15-year-old, you talk more than 17 minutes. That's the average. You gone. Even in the meeting, right? You're doing a presentation. You want to talk too long, right? Your person that listened to your pitch take up the phone. You are dead, really. That means you lost her or lost him. Already totally gone. So, which is why now creating content is that how do you tell a story in bite size, digestible, and it's so delicious that bite that you eat that you want to come and eat over and over again in bite size. I cannot eat like say those days we eat to be full, one whole big loaf of roti. Now I want a little cake or a little dessert that tastes wonderful and give me good memories and such.
Yeah.
Now coming back to that, I share with you one example of a newspaper that we recently observed that has been published. All right, it's called News Bites. Now, the way they do the newspaper is that what's the first thing that people hate about newspaper? The ink, right? Black everywhere. Touch my clothes. I cannot take it to bed and stuff like that. So they put it in high quality paper. All right, so that the ink doesn't come out. Secondly, the layout. They use so many experts to look at the layout, and everything is digestible, bite-sized chunk. All right. Thirdly, they even use a psychologist to make sure that which color match, which color doesn't match. If you put the color together, I feel very tired after I look at it for long. So the color must harmonize. People don't know the kind of effort that has been put in a book. Now, when we come out with the first edition, wow, bling bling, gloss all the way, thick paper and stuff like that. But problem, you know why? When you put it on gloss, right? It's very painful in the eye. After you read some time, you get very tired. And sometimes people love the article so much, they want to take photo and share. It keep on reflect lah. Here got glow, there got glow. Cannot. So second issue immediately become matte up. No more gloss. So there's a lot of effort being put in the publishing that people just consume. They didn't know, but I don't know why I feel so good using it. It's a lot of effort to be thought of actually.
Sure. But we want efforts to actually see results, and it's heartening to see the book publication part. There's so much effort, technology, into the making, the writing, in terms of content and the presentation. That's amazing. We have come to the end of the program right now, so we have to sort of wrap up. Just in your words, gentlemen, I let you have the liberty to choose who you want to speak to. It could be the readers, it could be your fellow publishers, it could be your fellow sellers, or it could be the government. Keith, if it's that, I know what you're going to say already. If you've not said it, what advice do you want to give? In terms of grabbing opportunities in this new normal. Very quickly, 1-2 sentences. Encik Arief.
I lost that word. Bagi Keith dulu.
Okay, I think the most important thing is that the first thing you look in your core first, your family, all right? Your kids. Frankly, in modern family, we only have one or two. That is our entire world, all right? And the important thing is to embrace technology. Whether you like it or not, you embrace technology. All right. Technology will not take over our jobs. Technology will not take over our teachers' role. But technology will take over. I mean, teachers who use technology or students who use technology will take over teachers who don't use technology and students that don't take technology. Frankly, nowadays, when we do interviews, you don't have any technology or good in any of these things.
Right. Keith,
Sorry, man, I'll throw your
those are
CVs
20
straight away.
sentences already, Keith. Can you summarize in one sentence?
Take a lot. Okay, so my message is that give it a try. You can do no wrong in the digital world, because now all digital content is idiot free. So you can do no wrong. Test it out. If you want free stuff, you PM me, contact me. I give you loads and lists of free stuff. I give you free online scholarship for learning. I give you free books. I give you free language learning, all this kind of stuff. Test it out until you're happy. All things all over again, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dr. Bruce, back to you again. Your screen still freezing.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Back in action. Just hang on a minute. I've just got to reload the page. I think there's a little bit of internet connection
Glitch. Yeah.
Glitch. Do you still see us on Facebook?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
I'm
about
checking the
20
Facebook now. It looks
seconds.
okay.
It looks okay.
20
All right.
seconds
So
delay, you know.
Keith, unfortunately, I couldn't cut you off. It was the internet who cut you off. But it's clear we have got to be agile and use technology. And Arief, last words from you, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Stephen, for the
Reading
feedback.
habit is the fundamental. Read. Yep. Itulah reading habit, build up reading habit among for us, for our children. That one will carry throughout our life. Read everything, books, internet. Just be curious about everything.
Thank you so much. And with that, we have come to the conclusion of our program. I would like to thank again our very, very special guest, Che Arief, as well as my good pal, Mr. Keith Thong, two towering personalities and figures in the world of book publication.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very generous.
Thank you so much, all of you at home or wherever you are right now, for viewing. It's been a pleasure discussing this with you, and we hope you have had as much pleasure deriving knowledge and a little bit of entertainment from our discussion tonight. And with that, I wish all of you a productive week ahead, and good evening, and Salam Ramadan, and stay safe. Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Hey, thank you, Dato Bruce, for hosting us.
Thank you, Dato Bruce.
So enjoy yourself, enjoy reading. Stay safe. Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.